Hello, I'm Merryn Snare. Today I want to talk to you about what I call the tree analogy, and this is really just a natural way to help understand relationships. Now, we see many very healthy trees out there that grow beautifully with branches and leaves, but occasionally we'll see an unhealthy tree. It might have been starved of light or of water or nutrition. It might have grown too quickly. It may not have been pruned appropriately, and so that can cause the tree problems. Now, in relationships, there are also trends or patterns that can cause problems, and I use the tree analogy to help understand these. Before I show you this analogy, I want to make the point that we know that with individuals, there is no two ways that things are going to be the same. It's really the same for anything in nature, trees or anything else. They're all going to have their unique qualities. But for the purpose of this video, I'm talking about general behavior trends and patterns. And if you can understand some of these trends that might happen in a relationship, when you combine that with your knowledge of yourself and your partner, then that might help you to be able to alleviate some potential problems. Now, whilst this tree analogy can be useful for any sort of relationship, I mainly use it and I devised it for talking to people about intimate or personal relationships. So it's really about partner relationships. So let's get started. I hope this makes sense to you and I hope you can gain some valuable information from it. Now, if we start off by thinking about the structure of a tree, we have the trunk. And this is really about two people coming together for whatever reason. It's much better if both people are in a strong situation so that they can form a strong trunk. If one person is more needy than another, they're likely to push against the other person, which is going to weaken their side of the trunk. So ideally, we've got two strong people coming together. So the first warning sign is if somebody is going into a relationship thinking that someone's going to prop them up. That's not a good way to start. The next part of the tree is that it grows branches. And a healthy tree has a really well-balanced set of branches, and then the leaves grow, and we have what we see as a nice, healthy tree. But let's look at a couple of the things that might relate to a relationship here. I think about the central branches as being about your relationship having things in common that grow together. And if you have things in common, often it might be family, children, interests, hobbies, sports, projects, it might be travel, it might be a home, there can be a whole range of things that create this central part of the tree, which gives it its strength and lets it grow healthily but keeps it strong. So this is an important part. And then we have the peripheral branches. Now, I believe it's really important for people to always maintain their own interests. You don't need to constantly be in your partner's pocket. So your own interests might be your own hobbies or sports. It might be your own friendship groups. It could be work. So we have these interests on the periphery. Now, it's really important that with these interests, we don't allow them to take over this part of the tree where we become too self-absorbed and caught up with our own interests and what we're doing. So we need to make sure that we keep this central part for the relationship, but we have this nice part around us. Within the central part, there will also be social connections, going out with friends, doing things and having fun. So this is all about maintaining the balance in the relationship. Now, let's consider some of the things that might go wrong in the tree's growth. One of the things that can happen is that the tree can grow out and not have this strength in the middle. And if it grows out and there's too much weight of the branches and the leaves on one side, the tree can split. and fall over. Now, a similar thing can happen in a relationship. If you don't build this strength part of you together as a couple, your tree is likely to split, or your relationship is likely to split, just as the tree can split over. Another thing that can happen is that one side of the tree might grow very strong, sturdy branches. It might grow very quickly, but the other side of it might be a bit stunted. If this happens, the tree is not going to be balanced or healthy, and it becomes at risk of either splitting apart or being blown over if there's a storm. Now, the same can happen with a relationship. If one person develops and is particularly strong and the other person doesn't, then the similarities in the relationship, the things that attracted you together when you created this strong trunk, are going to disappear. It's similar to one person leaning on the other. If someone matures at a faster rate than the other, the relationship will lose its balance, and that can cause problems for the couple involved. So think about making sure that you have the strength in the center, complemented by your own interests, be they sport, work, friends, but keeping this very strong connection. That's what's going to keep the tree healthy, but it's also what's going to keep your relationship healthy. I hope that helps you to understand some of the basic elements that I think are really important in maintaining a strong, healthy relationship. I'm Merryn Snare.